So you're shaking. You feel that cold creeping in, don't you? That's fear, my friend. The kind that crawls under your skin, gnaws at your insides, and makes you want to run. But here's the kicker. There's nowhere to run. Nowhere. They've built a labyrinth around you, walls so high and thick you'll choke on the dust before you find a way out. But hey, that's what they wanted, isn't it? For you to feel small, for you to drown in the mess they made and call it your fault. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're standing on a battlefield, unarmed, while they've got every weapon in the book pointed right at you. And instead of giving you a sword, they hand you a bouquet of lies. They pat you on the back, tell you to stay strong, and shove you forward. What happens next? You bleed. You scream. You crawl. And they watch. They laugh. They call you weak for not surviving the war they engineered. It's sick, isn't it? The way they play God with your life. But let me tell you something. There's a beauty in this madness. Yeah, you heard me. Beauty. Because when they push you into the abyss, that's when you learn to grow wings. Not for them, not to prove anything to the world, but for you. Because if you don't rise, no one's coming to save you. You're on your own, kid. You ever notice how people crave control? How they grip it so tightly their knuckles turn white? Their nails dig into their own skin? They want to control you. Your thoughts, your dreams, your failures, they want it all. Why? Because they're terrified of their own reflection. They can't face the mess they've made of their lives, so they look at you instead. Blame you for their shortcomings. They want an escape, but there's no way out from what they caused. Not for them. Not for you. Here's a dark little truth for you. Most people will betray you. Not because you deserve it, but because they're too weak to carry the weight of loyalty. Loyalty, it's heavy, isn't it? Like a chain wrapped around your neck, pulling you down while the world burns around you. But let me ask you this, who do you owe it to? Them? The ones who turned their backs the moment you needed them most? Or yourself? The one who crawled through the fire, clawed through the ashes, and somehow kept breathing. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a man who trusted too easily. He gave his heart away like loose change, thinking everyone valued it as much as he did. But they didn't. They took it, shattered it, and laughed while he scrambled to piece it back together. And when he finally did, guess what? They came back for more, and he let them, over and over again, until there was nothing left but dust. Do you know why that story is so common? Because people are parasites. They feed off your kindness, your hope, your dreams. They drain you dry, and then call you weak when you collapse. So what do? You stop feeding them. You take that broken heart of yours and turn it into a weapon. You let the pain fuel you, not destroy you. Because that's the only way you win in a world like this. You don't beg for mercy. You don't wait for apologies. You rise, and you make them choke on their regrets. You think this is harsh? This is reality. Sugarcoating it won't make it easier to swallow. They want you to believe in fairy tales. Happy endings, second chances, redemption. But let me ask you, how many times have you given someone a second chance only for them to spit in your face? How many times have you forgiven someone who didn't even have the decency to apologize? That's the world we live in. They'll break you and then blame you for not being whole. But here's the thing. They don't get to decide your worth. You do. Not them, not society, not anyone who's ever doubted you. You. So stop waiting for their validation. Stop looking for their approval. It's poison, and it'll kill you faster than any bullet. Instead, build yourself a fortress, not to hide in, but to stand on. Let them see you rise from the rubble they left behind. Let them see the fire in your eyes, the steel in your spine. Let them see the monster they created, the one who doesn't break, doesn't beg, doesn't stop. They want an escape, but there's no way out from what they caused, and neither is there for you. But here's the difference. You're not running. You're facing it. Every scar, every betrayal, every moment of doubt. It's all part of your story. A story that doesn't end in defeat, but in triumph. Because you're not just surviving, you're conquering. And when they see you standing tall, unbroken, they'll realize the truth. You're not their victim. You're their reckoning. You're probably thinking, why me? Why do I have to carry this weight? Why does the world pick me to bleed while they get to laugh? Oh, I've heard it all before. The whining, the excuses, the cries for fairness. Fairness. What a joke. Fairness is just a story they tell the weak so they don't rise up and destroy everything. Let me tell you something about this world, kid. It's not fair, and it never will be. They don't hand out justice. They sell it to the highest bidder. And people like you don't get a seat at that table. They want you quiet, obedient, grateful for the crumbs they toss your way. And the moment you dare to want more, to demand your piece of the pie, they'll do everything in their power to tear you down. But here's where they screwed up. They didn't realize what you're capable of. They thought you'd crumble, thought you'd stay in the dirt where they left you. But you didn't, did you? You crawled, you fought. And now, here you are, battered and bruised, but still standing. And that scares them. Oh, it terrifies them. Because deep down, they know you're not like them. You don't break the way they do. You want to know the secret? The thing they don't want you to figure out? Pain is power. Yeah, it hurts. It burns. It leaves scars that never quite fade. but it also teaches you. It sharpens you. Every cut, every bruise, every time they laughed while you fell, that's another lesson they handed you for free. And if you're smart, you'll use it. Think about it. They've spent their lives running from pain, hiding behind masks of fake smiles and empty words. But not you. You faced it. You felt it in your bones, in your soul. And that makes you dangerous. Because a man who's been through hell and back doesn't fear the fire anymore. He becomes it. You're probably wondering what to do now, huh? You're sitting there, drowning in a sea of questions, with no answers in sight. Let me make it simple for you. You don't run, you don't hide, you don't waste your breath trying to make them understand. You take all that pain, all that anger, all that bitterness, and you forge it into something they can't ignore. They took everything from you, your trust, your innocence, your peace of mind, and now you take it all back. Not with their permission, not with their approval, but with your own two hands. You build something so unshakable, so undeniable, that they can't help but notice. And when they do, when they see the monster they've created, you smile. Not because you've forgiven them, but because you've won. Look around you. This world isn't kind. It doesn't hand out second chances. You either take what's yours, or you get swallowed whole. And the ones who survive, they're the ones who learn to play the game, who stop being the prey and become the predator. Oh, they'll call you names. Ruthless, heartless, cold. Let them. Those are just words. And words don't break bones. Actions do. And your actions, they're going to speak so loud, it'll drown out every lie they've ever told about you. Because when you rise, when you stand tall in the ruins of everything they tried to destroy, their words won't matter anymore. You'll be untouchable, unstoppable. You see, they want an escape, but there's no way out from what they caused. Not for them. They'll live with the weight of their choices, whether they admit it or not. And you'll rise above it. Not because it's easy, not because it's fair, but because you refuse to let them win. And that's the secret, kid. The one they don't want you to figure out. Life isn't about fairness. It's about resilience. It's about standing in the face of everything they throw at you and saying, "Is that all you got?" It's about proving, day after day, that they can knock you down, but they'll never keep you there. They'll look at you and they'll see the cracks they caused, the wounds they inflicted. But what they won't see is the fire that kept you alive, the strength you found in the darkness. And when they realize they can't break you anymore, that's when you'll truly win. Because the greatest revenge isn't destroying them. It's becoming everything they said you couldn't be. You're quiet. Good. It means you're thinking. That's the first step, you know. getting out of your own way, letting the truth slap you awake. Because let me tell you, the world doesn't care if you're asleep. Hell, it's easier for them that way. A sleeping man doesn't fight back. A sleeping man doesn't question the system. But you? Oh, you're waking up now, aren't you? And they're going to hate that. Let's talk about that, shall we? Waking up. They call it a curse, you know? They'll say, why can't you just let it go? Why do you always have to see things for what they are? Why can't you just be happy? Ha! Happy. They want you blind, dumb, and smiling, because that's the version of you they can control. But the second you open your eyes, the second you start asking the right questions, you become dangerous. And dangerous people, well, they don't last long in a world like this, do they? But here's the twist. The most dangerous man isn't the one with the gun or the power or the connections. No, it's the man who's got nothing to lose. That's who you're becoming, isn't it? They've taken so much from you, stripped you down to the bone. And now, here you are, raw, exposed, and ready to burn it all down if you have to. And that terrifies them. Because a man who's lost everything has no fear. A man who's been through hell doesn't flinch at the sight of fire. They thought they were breaking you, but all they were doing was building something they can't control. Someone who doesn't play by their rules, who doesn't bow to their expectations. Someone like you. Do you know what makes them squirm the most? It's not your anger. Oh no, they expect that. They're prepared for it. They've got 1,000 ways to deflect it, to turn it against you. No, what scares them is your silence, your focus, your refusal to give them the reaction they're fishing for. Because silence, that's power. It's a mirror they can't escape, showing them every lie, every failure, every crack in their facade. And it drives them mad. Stay quiet, but don't stay still. Move in the shadows. Plan your next steps. Let them think you've given up, that you're too broken to fight back. And then, when they least expect it, strike. Not out of vengeance, but out of purpose. Because this isn't about them anymore. It's about you, your survival, your rise. You want to know why they'll never understand you? It's because they can't. They've spent their lives avoiding pain, hiding from the truth, building their little castles on foundations of lies. But you've been in the trenches. You've tasted the dirt, felt the weight of every betrayal, every loss. You've bled for your dreams, and when they laughed, you kept going. That's what separates you from them. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. All you need is the fire in your chest, the voice in your head that says, keep going. They'll call you names, you know. Crazy, obsessed, unforgiving. Let them. Those words are just chains they try to wrap around you, hoping you'll stay down. But chains can't hold a storm. They can't contain the kind of strength that comes from surviving what you've survived. So wear their words like armor. Let them see that every insult, every sneer, every attempt to tear you down only makes you stronger. Here's the thing about people. They love to throw stones at things they don't understand. And you? Oh, you're going to be a mystery to them. They'll look at you and see the scars, the shadows, the things they can't explain. And it'll terrify them. Because deep down, they know they could. The Joker stares at the man, his expression unreadable, as if he's waiting for the weight of his words to settle in, to take root. And when he finally speaks again, his voice is low, deliberate, and cutting like a scalpel, slicing through the layers of doubt and fear. You think you're ready to face it now, don't you? You feel that fire starting to burn, that little flicker of hope clawing its way back to life. But let me warn you, it's not enough. Not yet. See, the world isn't gonna roll over just because you've decided to fight back. No, it's gonna push harder. It's gonna test you in ways you can't even imagine. And if you're not prepared, if you haven't turned every ounce of pain into steel, you're going to fall again. That's the thing they don't tell you about survival. It's not a one-time deal. You don't just get up and walk away from the ashes. No, survival is a war, a constant, unrelenting battle against everything and everyone trying to drag you back down. And the worst part, sometimes it's your own mind that becomes the battlefield. Think about it. How many times have you doubted yourself? How many nights have you lain awake, replaying every mistake, every failure, every moment you weren't enough? That voice in your head, the one that whispers, "You're not strong enough, not smart enough, not good enough," that's your real enemy. And if you don't learn to silence it, to drown it out with something stronger, it will consume you. They'll tell you to ignore it, to focus on the positive, to find the silver lining. But that's just another lie. Ignoring it won't make it go away. You've got to face it, stare it down, and show it who's in charge. You've got to take every insult, every criticism, every ounce of doubt, and turn it into fuel. Let me give you an example. You ever see how a diamond is made? It's just a lump of coal at first. Useless, overlooked, forgotten. But then under pressure, immense, unbearable pressure, it transforms. It becomes something so hard, so unbreakable, it can cut through anything. That's what you need to become. A diamond forged in the fire of every hardship, every betrayal, every moment of despair. Because when you reach that point, nothing, not the world, not your enemies, not even your own doubts, will be able to touch you. But don't think for a second that it's going to be easy. Easy is for the weak, the ones who take shortcuts, who settle for less. You don't get that luxury. You gotta earn it. Every step, every breath, every inch of progress. And that means embracing the pain. not running from it, not numbing it, embracing it. Because pain, my friend, is the most honest thing you'll ever feel. It doesn't lie, doesn't sugarcoat, doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It's real, raw, and if you let it, it'll teach you things you can't learn any other way. It'll show you who you really are, what you're really capable of. And when you come out the other side, you won't just be stronger, you'll be unstoppable. They want you to believe you're alone in this, that no one understands, no one cares. But here's the truth, they're scared of you, scared of what you'll become if you ever realize your own power. Because once you do, you'll see through their lies, their games, their masks. You'll see them for what they really are, weak, pathetic, desperate to keep you down so they can feel a little taller. But you're better than that. You're stronger than that. And you're going to prove it. Not to them, not to the world, but to yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. What you think, what you believe, what you choose to become. Not their opinions, not their judgments, not their expectations, just you. They want an escape, but there's no way out from what they caused. And that's their curse. But your curse, your blessing, is that you have a choice. You can let their poison consume you. Let their lies define you. Let their betrayal break you. Or you can rise above the pain, the doubt, the fear. Rise above the ashes of everything they tried to destroy. Rise until you're so far above them they can't even see you anymore. But remember this, rising doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean forgiving. It means carrying the lessons with you, using them as weapons, as armor, because the world isn't done with you yet, and you're not done with it. You're going to feel doubt, sure, fear, anger, exhaustion. They're all going to come knocking, trying to drag you back into that pit you just crawled out of. But here's the thing, you don't owe them anything. Not your energy, not your tears, not your time. You've already paid the price. And now it's time to collect what's yours. Let me tell you something about people. They'll hate you for winning, for rising above the mess they left you in. They'll hate you for proving them wrong, for refusing to stay in the box they shoved you into. And you know why? Because it reminds them of what they'll never be. They'll never have your strength, your resilience, your fire. And they'll try to snuff it out. They'll whisper behind your back, spread lies, plant seeds of doubt wherever they can. They'll try to drag you back down to their level, because seeing you rise burns them alive. But you're not going back. You're not lowering yourself just to make them comfortable. No, you're climbing higher and higher and higher until the only thing they can do is choke on the dust you leave behind. You see those cracks? Those scars? That's your story written on your skin, etched into your soul. Every one of them is a testament to your survival, a badge of honor they can never take from you. They'll try to shame you for them, make you feel broken, unworthy. But broken things aren't useless. Broken things are dangerous. Ever seen a shattered mirror? Those shards? They can cut deeper than anything whole. That's you now. A collection of jagged edges, sharp enough to tear through every lie, every illusion, every obstacle they put in your way. Don't try to piece yourself back together for their sake. Stay sharp, stay dangerous, because that's what they fear the most. The parts of you they can't predict, can't control, can't break. You're changing. You feel it, don't you? That weight on your chest lifting, replaced by something stronger, something darker. It's not weakness leaving you. It's their power over you fading. That's what happens when you stop living for them and start living for yourself. But don't get comfortable. Change isn't the end. It's the beginning. You've got to keep moving. Keep pushing, keep fighting, because the moment you stop, the moment you think you've made it, that's when they'll strike. They'll wait for you to get tired, to lower your guard, and then they'll come for you. And when they do, you need to be ready. Ready to remind them why they should have left you alone in the first place. You think you're alone in this, don't you? That no one else understands what it's like to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. But let me tell you something. Every strong person you've ever admired, every hero, every legend, they've been right where you are, alone, afraid, angry. And do you know what set them apart? They didn't let it stop them. They didn't wait for someone to save them, didn't beg for help, didn't cry out for fairness. They stood up, dusted themselves off, and kept moving forward. Not because it was easy, but because they knew the truth. The only person who can pull you out of the darkness is you. So, what's it gonna be? Are you gonna stay here, drowning in the what-ifs and could-have-beens? Or are you gonna rise? Not for them, not to prove a point, but because you deserve to, because you're worth it, because deep down, you know you're not done yet. They want an escape, but there's no way out from what they caused, and that's their curse to bear. But you've got something they'll never have. A reason to fight, a reason to rise. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the world to give you a break. Go out there and take what's yours. And when they look at you, standing tall in the ruins of everything they tried to destroy, let them see what real strength looks like. Because you're not just surviving anymore. You're living, you're thriving, and they'll never be able to touch you again. You feel that chill, don't you? That sharp bite of reality? It's not the cold, it's the truth settling in. You're alone out here, surrounded by a world that doesn't give a damn about you. But that's where the power lies. When you stop expecting it. When you stop needing their approval, their pity, their fake smiles and empty promises. Because let's be honest, they don't care. They never did. They'll clap for you when you win, but only if it benefits them. They'll mourn you when you're gone, but only because it makes them feel righteous. And the rest of the time, they'll forget you. So why live for them? Why waste a single second trying to please people who don't even see you? They want to talk about loyalty, about love, about trust. But what do they know about any of that? Loyalty to them is just convenience, something they trade away the second it costs them anything. Love, it's a transaction. And trust, that's the biggest lie of all. They'll tell you to trust them, to open up, to let them in. And the moment you do, they'll use it against you. Twist it, break it, turn it into a weapon. That's their way. But you've got a different way now. You've seen behind the curtain, seen the gears and cogs of the machine they use to keep you in line. And you're not falling for it anymore. No more giving away pieces of yourself to people who don't deserve them. No more wasting your energy on battles that don't matter. From now on, every step you take, every move you make, it's for you. Look at this place. Broken, abandoned, forgotten, just like you were. But you know what they don't understand? The beauty of broken things, the potential hidden in the cracks, the strength in the rubble. They see something like this and they think it's done, finished, worthless. But you see something else. You see what it can become. Because that's the difference between them and you. They destroy. You build. They tear down. You rise. And every time they try to bury you, you grow back stronger, tougher, more unstoppable than before. They'll hate you for it, you know, for refusing to stay broken, for taking the pain they caused and turning it into something they can't control. They'll call you names, arrogant, selfish, cruel. Let them. Those words are just echoes of their own fears, their own failures. They see you rising, and it reminds them of all the times they fell. But don't let that stop you. Don't let their fear, their jealousy, their small-mindedness hold you back. Because at the end of the day, their opinions mean nothing. The only thing that matters is what you do with the life they tried to destroy. Will you let it define you, or will you let it fuel you? They want an escape, but there's no way out from what they caused. And that's the truth they'll have to live with for the rest of their lives. But you're not trapped by their mistakes anymore. You've found your way out, not through them, not because of them, but in spite of them. And now you get to decide what comes next. You get to take all that anger, all that pain, all that darkness, and use it to build something they can't touch, something they can't destroy, something that belongs to you and only you.